Some months ago, someone gave me this picture. It's a picture that I immediately recognized as being the old bridge over Cypress Creek on the Pittsburg-Mt Pleasant Highway. The person who gave it to me did not know what it was, but I immediately recognized the picture, having gone over that bridge some 50 or 60 years ago, but I still remembered the bridge. And I had been wanting to go down to this particular area to look over the site, see if the bridge was still there. So when I got this picture, I've been working toward that end ever since. Some time ago, I saw Henry Bell, who owns that particular farm there at that place, and I talked to Robert Long. They both wanted to go down there and show me the place. Robert wanted to see it, so I knew this picture was made here when they were fixing that road, as we later found out, in 1916. But anyway, on February the 18th, 1983, Robert Long and I went out to Henry Bell's residence, and Henry graciously took us in his pickup down to the bottom. Now, this picture here is one that I copied from one that Sonny Boy Kesson had. The part on the lower right is not ground there, it's a deterioration in the picture itself. Someone got on it. But we believe this picture was made when people came out to see that the road was completed out here, or see the work out there. The car, G.W. Keeling tells me, he and his daddy, who was county judge at that time, rode out there one day in an old car, and looking to the picture closely, I could tell the steering wheel was on the right side, which is unusual about this car. We were all intrigued by the apparently small size of the buggy there, and the pony, the boys driving it there. But now we have gotten out there to Henry Bell's place, and Henry's down opening the gate, and Robert Long takes a shot as we look down towards the bottom from the front lawn of Henry Bell's place. Now, this was very near where the picture we saw a little bit ago, was made in 1916, was taken. The road goes down to the foot of the hill, and then kind of angles off the right across the bottom into the wooded area near the creek down there. And I learned something in taking pictures with my video camera, such as this. Don't take pictures riding in the back of a pickup using telescope lens on it. It just doesn't work. It does very well using ordinary lens. But we're now approaching the bottom of the hill that you saw us looking down a few moments ago. And right here is where the concrete slab starts. It goes some 100 yards across the bottom meadow here on Henry Bell's place, and winds up in the woods where it goes some 100 or 200 yards on further on down to the creek. This was pictures that I tried to take of the meadow as I walked along. It didn't do too good. But now we're approaching the wooded area, and the gravel we see in the foreground there is at the first slough. Now, you'll find sloughs in all the creek bottoms around here. Those of you who have hunted and been in the woods, you know about that. This is the meadow there just before we get to the first slough. And this is the first slough. The water is in the slough, some possibly 2 or 3 foot deep. The first bridge here, it is passable. We did drive over this particular slough here. But there are about 5 sloughs between here and the creek that we have to get to. We're looking back now from the pickup parked at this first slough, and I was trying to show some of the rocks that Henry said had been put down beside the old roadbed to keep the water from wearing away the side of the road when the water overflowed into the bottom. The concrete slab is sitting up some 18 inches 2 foot higher than the land which abounds it. Now, Henry's out here now trying to unstop the culvert, which is in this first bridge here. He likes to keep the water running through there so it won't overflow and back up on his land. This is the second slough. There's a culvert down there, but the culvert has rusted out, and the water, you see the culvert rusted out there now, and it's stopped up, and it's not passable. Henry and Robert now have gone on walking on. They go off and left me and walking down the slab toward the creek as I stop to take some pictures. These are pictures that I took outside the slab, and if you'll notice there's a little spot to the right there looks like a turnoff. I want to find out from Henry just what that is, because it looked like a roadway that actually turned out from the other road. And this is, as I'm walking up here closer, you'll see this particular spot is cleared off as though it's a runway going out there. Now Henry and Robert have come up to another old bridge site. The bridge is long gone, but you can see the concrete abutments there on either side, and they have gone out now into the bottom to walk around and skirt this old bridge site. Now I've gone now and out in the bottom myself now and look back towards the old concrete abutment, see the water there, but there's no sign of a bridge there. And there's Henry and Robert on down the creek. And now I've come down to another slough. And this particular slough had 3 concrete abutments. Had one out in the center, if you'll notice, and then there's one on the other side. There are 3. This was a real wide slough here. Again, the bridge is gone, so we had to walk out and walk around it. Now this is another view of the same slough. Now we're still going on down the road. Robert and Henry still walking down there. Find a fence down there now that Henry has put up here to keep his cattle from getting down to the creek where they might cross and escape. So they're having to climb over the wire. They're standing now at the edge of the bridge site. There's the creek itself. Now I'm off the site myself and looking back towards the concrete apron there and see some of the posts still in the bridge there. I don't know what the posts were for, but now I'm looking across the bridge, and there's the concrete abutment on the other side. This was the Titus County side. The road went across and then went up a hill. It didn't have concrete over there. It was higher and drier than the Camp County side. We're looking now at the creek. And now if you notice, the road is a little wide here, just this particular spot. The concrete aprons were wider here so that the cars could pass. The width of the concrete slab is actually just 1 car wide. And there's one here, and then down near the truck you see another one where they had put a concrete slab out and a little curve spot out there. That's where Henry's standing there now. And cars could drive out there and let one another pass. The traffic was not too heavy back in those days, of course. But they're walking back now towards the pickup, which we can see in the distance. It's some 200 yards now from the bridge back to the pickup. But with my zoom lens, I'm reaching back, and you can see the pickup. Robert takes a shot for his story in the Pittsburg-Gazette. And the Pittsburg-Gazette edition of March 3rd had his story about this old bridge side and the old concrete slab down in bottom. Now, I took this picture out from the bridge to show the old lumber and stuff. Trees have washed up there, and there's some of the rocks that were laid down beside the roadway to protect it. Now the bushes have grown up into it. Now some more pictures of the slough and the old rotted timbers that have floated down when high water coming back there, and we're getting back now close to the pickup. And there's another turnout there. You can see where the concrete was. And now there's the bottom, going back to the foot of the hill where you go up to Henry Bell's house. And now Henry takes advantage of that little turnout there to turn around. It's a little hard to maneuver with the modern vehicles being longer and wider than it once were back when this was used. This particular roadway was discontinued about 1928 when the other roadway was built. And this is Lacey Davis again.